Story 1. My 33F boyfriend 30M wants to break up with me because my 13-year-old daughter has decided she doesn't want to move in anymore. How do I accept this? My 33F boyfriend, Don, 30M, and I have been together for about 2 years. We've been planning for a big change this year. I was supposed to move into his house with my 13-year-old daughter, who has always lived with me. Don owns a fixer-upper that we've been putting time and money into, getting it ready for me to move in by July this year. My daughter, who is close with both me and her dad, was also supposed to be moving with me, and we were all excited about the new chapter. Last night, things took a sharp turn. My daughter told me that she didn't want to change schools. She's been living in the same district her whole life, and her dad lives in the same area, so it's important for her to stay in her current school. I had a long conversation with her and told her that if she didn't want to move, I wouldn't force her. It was an emotional conversation, and we both cried. I promised her I would talk to her dad about how we could move forward and transition her into living with him. I then called Don to explain the situation, thinking we would figure out a new plan. But as soon as I told him my daughter wasn't going to move with me, he flipped out. He said he wouldn't let me lose my daughter just to move in with him. He was angry because up until that point, she had been telling both of us she would try the new school for at least a year, and now it was all changing. I told him it wasn't his decision, and I wasn't going to force my daughter to do something she didn't want to do. A bit more context. I'm divorced with 2 other daughters from my ex-husband, with whom I have a great co-parenting relationship. We've worked out a plan for how my move will affect the schedule with our 2 girls, who will stay with their dad half the time. Don, on the other hand, has a son from his previous relationship, and he and his ex are still figuring out a better custody arrangement for him. We had spent months preparing the house for me and my daughter to move in, getting her room ready, picking out wall colors, and planning the move for July. But now Don is saying it was all for nothing. He's telling me that I'm letting my daughter walk all over me and that she shouldn't get to make any life-altering decisions. His view is that moving would be a good opportunity for her to grow and adapt, because he switched schools when he was younger and thinks she'll be fine. But I don't agree. My daughter has been in the same school her whole life, and while a 30-minute drive away isn't a huge distance, moving to a new town with new friends and a new school would be a massive change for her. Staying in her current school, where she knows the environment and her dad is nearby, feels like a less disruptive option to me. The bigger issue, though, is the financial side of things. My apartment is way too expensive, and I've been able to make it work because of some money left to me by my mom. But that money is running out, and by the end of the summer, I won't be able to afford this place anymore. The only reason I've been able to stay here is because of the financial cushion, and once it's gone, I'll need to find something cheaper. Moving in with Don would save me $1,000 a month on rent alone, which is a huge deal for me right now. But Don says that if my daughter isn't moving with me, he doesn't want to continue with the plan. I've told him that without that support, I'll have to downsize even further, and my daughter will likely end up living with her dad anyway. I'm really struggling with this. I know my kids will be fine. They have great dads who are involved in their lives, but I'm finding myself in a tough spot with no family here in the state and nowhere else to turn if I lose my apartment. I understand that Don is hurt and frustrated, but I feel like he's overreacting and throwing away our future together. I don't know how to make him see that I'm doing my best to balance my daughter's needs with the realities of our situation. I just want him to understand that this isn't just about a move. It's about doing what's best for my daughter and finding a way to keep our relationship intact. What should I do to make Don realize how important this is, and that breaking up over this is a huge overreaction? How can I approach this situation in a way that helps him see the bigger picture and that we're not throwing everything away over a change in plans? Comment 1. He could text back, "I don't know, Mom. You continuously try and gain attention and validation from men that are prioritizing their wives and children, and you are continuously trying to win an invisible trophy for number 1 in my life." These types of videos are cringy, and whoever creates them should very much seek therapy for what a healthy child/parent relationship should be, and this video just ain't it. Comment 2. She does this because she is a pick-me girl that got old and had sons. Many of our MILs are like this. They compete with other women since they were young, and now that they are old and have nothing better to do, they focus too much on their sons. Comment 3. Oh, she has a lot to gain. She emotionally relies on her adult children. She probably was the same when they were kids, which is a type of mistreatment and leads to these scenarios where the sons roll their eyes and have learned to ignore her. That doesn't mean you have to put up with it. Comment 4. Oh, he is aware he is throwing away your relationship. He isn't a young kid. He went from I don't want you to lose your kid to you're letting her control your life. The question I would have is why is it both of you or neither of you? That seems off to me. Comment 5. Sounds like you wanted to live with your daughter and he was ready to put up with you. Comment 6. When people call out things as creepy on Reddit, I can usually see another side. But this is just creepy. I could understand if he brought up the option of not moving in together if it meant your daughter would stay with you, but his reaction is downright creepy. It gives vibes of wanting access to your daughter. Comment 7. I'll say this, daughter aside, moving in with someone when your financial situation is this weak is a very bad idea. Your expenses will rise to meet your income when you move in with this guy. You're already investing money you don't have into his property. If you proceed with this move, you may find yourself unable to get away if the relationship sours, simply because you won't be able to afford it. You mentioned that you don't have a formal custody agreement, nor, I take it, a child support agreement. This may be something to consider setting up, so that you can still take care of your children and live independently. Comment 8. His attitude is weird and would be enough for me to be comfortable with the relationship ending. He is not making you lose your daughter, and she is not walking all over you. That is such a hard age to move towns and schools. You sound like a great mom. Best wishes finding a new affordable rental. Story 2. I've gone silent in my marriage to protect myself, but I'm breaking inside. Do I speak up or keep detaching until I disappear? I, F33, am emotionally drained and at a loss for what to do anymore. My husband, M35, and I have been together for years, but his emotional distance has only grown over time. Lately, it feels like I'm a ghost in my own home. He's become so cold that I hardly recognize our relationship. Whenever I try to share my hurt, he either shuts down or gets angry. I've learned the hard way that speaking up only leads to conflict, so now I swallow my pain just to keep the peace, even though it's eating me alive. A few recent incidents really broke something in me. He went on a trip while I was dealing with a serious flare-up from my PCOS. I had to go to the doctor alone, where I learned my cyst was large and painful. The doctor even mentioned surgery if it worsened, which scared me. When I called in to explain, he cut me off mid-sentence and said, "Okay, I'll talk to you later." I tried to tell him that this wasn't okay, but after that, he didn't call me once the entire week. Instead, I got a few, "How are you?" texts that felt more like a formality. I found out more about his trip from his Instagram than I did from him. When he came back, I asked why he hadn't called, and he said, "You were already angry." There was no point in ruining my vacation. When I told him how deeply that hurt, he exploded, calling me mentally unstable and saying, "I have no emotions for you. Don't expect anything. If this relationship ends, so be it. I'm done putting effort into this. You don't deserve to be spoken to with respect. Your demands are endless. I can't do this anymore." In a panic, I apologized, promised I wouldn't bother him again, and tried to keep the peace. Later, we were supposed to go on a trip with friends, but I caught the flu. He went alone, which I was okay with, but he didn't check on me once in 5 days. Not once. He didn't ask where I was or if I needed anything. Just one, "How are you?" text a day, only because his friends asked about me. There was no real concern. I've been handling everything at home, errands, chores, my health on my own. I haven't asked for anything. I just wanted some emotional presence, but even that seems like too much to ask for. Now I'm wondering, am I overthinking all of this? Am I being too dramatic? Should I just act cheerful like he wants me to? Every time I've tried to talk about an issue, he gets angry, and out of fear that he'll leave or punish me with days of silence, I break down and apologize, promising to never bring it up again, just so things can feel normal again. So, I've started emotionally detaching. I don't tell him about my day, my plans, or what's going on at home anymore. I just mirrored his energy, and oddly enough, he seems more comfortable now. He hasn't noticed the shift. He hasn't asked anything. Even when his family questioned why I seemed distant, he said, "Nothing's wrong. I haven't done anything." That crushed me. After everything, he still doesn't see that he's done anything wrong. I thought I could stay in this marriage, quietly detached, but there are days, like today, where it hurts too much. I feel like I can't keep doing this. I'm scared, I feel empty, and I'm constantly tense. I just want to know where I stand. Every day that I keep drifting further away, it feels like he's enjoying the silence, while I'm slowly falling apart inside. I don't want to start a fight. I just want clarity. How can I bring this up without him getting angry or dismissing me again? Or should I just keep pretending, fading into the background? Comment 1. You're no hero here. You didn't report her to CPS or ASBCA, you just enabled her the whole time. You're just as wrong as she is. Comment 2. Your sister shouldn't be allowed to have any pets ever again. Comment 3. Why aren't you divorced yet? Comment 4. This man does not love you or want what's best for you. Time to face reality. You already know the truth. Finish detaching and get out of this toxic, damaging relationship. And then get some therapy sessions to explore why you're willing to accept so much pain. Good luck. Comment 5. He has no feelings for you and doesn't care if the relationship dies. What's keeping you? Comment 6. This is the saddest post I've ever read. You'll feel so much less lonely after you leave him. I promise you. Comment 7. I have no emotions for you. Don't expect anything. If this relationship dies, so be it. I won't put any effort into it. You don't deserve to be spoken to normally. Your demands never stop. I can't do this anymore. I don't think that it can be spelled out any more clearer than this. Why not just divorce and move on? Comment 8. I tried that same experiment with my ex-husband. After 90 days of him not even asking me how my day was, I made my answer: separation and then divorce. There's nothing as lonely as being in an unhappy marriage. Go consult with a divorce lawyer to educate yourself on your obligations and entitlements, get your ducks in a row, and file. Story 3. Help. I 26F. Think my boyfriend, 30M, is exaggerating or faking his illness. I 26F have been with my boyfriend, 30M, for almost 2 years now, and over time, his chronic pain has worsened. The issue is that it's not tied to any specific condition, and he refuses to see a doctor, so we really have no idea what's causing it. It's now at a point where he can hardly do any chores or house projects, and he's almost always too tired or in pain to make plans or do anything outside the house. Getting him to do anything fun together is like pulling teeth. The main reason he gives for not participating in anything is his pain and exhaustion. Now, I've never had to deal with chronic pain myself, thankfully, so I don't want to accuse him of faking or exaggerating. I know the pain is real and invisible, and he looks perfectly healthy. But he's been unemployed for 4 months now, and it's starting to make me question things. There are a few reasons why I'm feeling doubtful. He never turns down invitations from his friends to do physically intense activities like kayaking, hiking, or going to a music festival. He's never too tired or in pain to have sex. It's starting to feel like his pain only seems to be an issue when he has to do something he doesn't want to do, like chores or hanging out with me. I've tried talking to him about doing more things together, but the conversation always circles back to his pain. If I suggest anything, he accuses me of trying to keep him from spending time with his friends, which is not my intention at all. I've even done a ton of research into autoimmune disorders and other conditions that could explain his pain, and I bring it up to him, but he refuses to believe in doctors or traditional medicine. Instead, he just smokes weed every day and says it's enough to manage his pain, while still complaining about how frustrated he is that he can't find a solution. What frustrates me even more is when we go to family parties or outings, where he'll talk to anyone who will listen about how terrible his pain is, but he's not actually trying to do anything about it. He refuses to work, citing his pain as the reason, and he doesn't seem interested in getting help. For additional context, he suffers from intense muscle spasms, especially in his back, which I know can be painful, but I'm starting to feel stuck. I'm happy to support him when times are tough, But the fact that he won't even try to get better or seek medical care is starting to worry me. I've been covering some of his expenses because he's not working, and while I don't mind helping out when needed, I'm not okay with being in a position where I'm financially supporting him long term. I don't want to be an asshole by questioning the legitimacy of his pain, but I do feel like I need some clarity and guidance here. So, here's what I'm wondering. Is it possible that my boyfriend is using his chronic pain as a crutch? Should I give him some kind of ultimatum to get medical care or seek help? How do I address this without sounding like I'm dismissing his pain, but also standing up for my own needs? I really appreciate any advice you can offer because I'm at a point where I'm not sure how to move forward. Comment 1. I'd like to be charitable and chalk this up to dementia, but from your story it sounds like she's always been this way. What a piece of work. Comment 2. Wow, she's a peach, isn't she? It's nice to hear stories where Op actually sticks up for themselves and says things that need to be said. Good for you, Op, for sticking up for you and your family. Comment 3. Good for you, standing up for yourself and your family against evil granny. Incredible how some people think they're entitled to respect simply because of their age. Comment 4. You had more patience than what I would have. I would have been a real piece of something and told her that we didn't want her there. She's stressing brother out and to go home. Comment 5. Even if he does have chronic illness, he isn't doing anything to get a diagnosis or treatment, and he is willing to push on for things that benefit him and only him. He's also developed a drug addiction he has no plans of curbing. I am chronically ill. I am trying to find answers and help because living like this sucks. I do everything in my power to support my partner and care for our home. While sometimes that's not a ton, I always prioritize contributing to my household over kayaking, which even if I could push through to do, would put me down for a week. This man is using and taking advantage of you, disabled or not. He also has dumped this on you without you consenting to be his financial caretaker. You're not married. There is no in sickness and health here. Leave him. Comment 6. As someone with chronic pain, even if he wasn't lying, I'd leave him. Chronic pain sucks, I've been there. It's been over 13 years of it. But it kinda just sounds like he's slowly made you into his bang maid. Either he's faking it so he doesn't have to work or do any chores, or he has no interest in improving his situation, which isn't sustainable if the person isn't going to pursue medical help or disability benefits. Comment 7. He is taking advantage of you. If he refuses to go to the doctor, he is making his pain, real or not, your problem. He has figured out that if he complains at the right times, he gets to do whatever he wants because you will comply. Your boyfriend sucks OP. Story 4. Update. I-26F. Think my boyfriend, 30M, is exaggerating or faking his illness. It was really eye-opening to hear from so many people dealing with chronic pain and illness, as well as from those supporting loved ones who are. I've gained a lot of perspective and a deeper sense of empathy for anyone struggling with an invisible illness. Now, onto my update. With some new insights and, admittedly, some fresh frustrations, I had a serious conversation with my boyfriend. I told him that he needs to see a doctor, or I won't be able to continue supporting him financially while he remains unemployed and unmotivated to get the help he needs. I also suggested we find a way to balance his energy better so we can share the household responsibilities, spend quality time together, and still allow him to do the things he enjoys with his friends. His response was not what I expected. He told me that if I'm not willing to step up and clean around the house, which I already do, there's no point in us living together. He said my cleaning efforts were the bare minimum and not good enough for his standards. He also got really upset that I haven't been more proactive with yard work and car repairs. He went on to list all the things I'm not noticing or cleaning properly. And, once again, he turned it back to this idea that I'm jealous of his friends and trying to limit the time he spends with them, which is completely untrue. It was a gut punch. He completely ignored everything I said about his health and focused solely on pointing out my perceived shortcomings. That told me everything I needed to know, and I told him I was leaving. He wasn't sad or apologetic at all. He was just angry. I'm still in tears over how he responded, and I feel like I'm left questioning everything, not just his pain, but what we even have anymore. Thank you so much to everyone who has offered support and understanding throughout this. I'm truly at a loss right now. Comment 1. You win. Comment 2. And hopefully you have now gone ahead with your extension plans and cut down the fin for the new neighbors. Comment 3. OP, I remember your first post. I know you're very sad right now, and you have a right to be. But don't let grief overstay its welcome. You are so much better off, and he just lost his bang maid. Expect him to come crawling back when he realizes you're serious. Don't believe anything he says. This internet stranger is proud of you. You deserve someone who can be your partner regardless of whether they have an illness. That doesn't mean they're critical or cruel. Comment 4. I told him I was leaving. Good for you. The audacity of this man. Comment 5. He's not sad because it sounds like he was using you. He's mad because his meal ticket is gone. Sorry. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.